do like change the way that the screen is so it's not a mirror image. So that's just done over here with my cool little tablet.
This is so cool.
Yeah, see, so everyone can kind of see what we can see. And then we got a really nice live studio audience.
Hey.
They're awesome. They are so cool. What is up, everybody? MuseMe TV. We are back. Jesus, we are grinding out episodes this week. Oh, man, it's just been so busy. Episode 104. 104.
Hey.
And in the studio today, we got Miss Daisy Darlin. I'm just going to give that another little shout right there. Miss Daisy Darlin's in the studio. I'm very glad to have you in.
Yeah,
I was just like, let's do it. Let's just get this podcast because we've been talking about it for a little bit.
We have. It's been a few months. Yeah.
And just certain events started to lead up to things, and it's just like, well, you know, I don't want to stay away from people for too long because that is getting kind of weird.
It is.
How have you dealt with this whole coronavirus? I mean, I don't want to start with this whole conversation. I mean, it's probably bored everybody on my podcast forever and ever, but how's it going for you?
I think it's important to talk about because everybody's kind of doing their own different thing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've tried to get outside at least every day because I have to have some kind of interaction or I will literally feel like I'm melting into my couch. It's like awful.
And yeah, you just feel like, wow, I'm just stuck in this place.
Yeah, it was weird. And then about 2 weeks ago, I actually had an interview for a summer job since I'm a teacher. And it was just so awkward, like my first interaction with a stranger since everything. I walked in, went to go shake their hand, and it was like, oh no.
Already starting off weird.
We don't do that here. And I was like, okay, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and that's what's weird too. It's like that's not the norm anymore.
No,
like,
it's different.
I just want to touch people.
Literally, I didn't
sounds
realize.
weird, but...
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I did touch people until you were told,
not to.
Hey, you can't. Yeah, so it's kind of different. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens. I think some people are still sticking to what was normal. I mean, I do still offer my hand, and if people turn it away, then that's fine.
You understand? Yeah.
My manners were like engraved in me since I was young. So.
That's very understandable because I mean, it's just human nature.
Yeah.
Like it's a habit that we've built, and if this continues for however long, unfortunately, we'll probably end up building that habit to just not shake hands anymore.
It'll be new. Yeah. Have you seen the elbow bumps that people do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of freaked me out. The first time I saw somebody come up and like put their elbow in my face, I was like, what are you doing?
You're like, oh my God. Get hit in the face.
I feel like that might be a new thing.
That's weird.
Do like toe handshake things.
I
Instead of
have to start wearing sandals again.
Oh no.
It's that kind of season. Well, it's that season, but
It is. I've got my sandals on actually.
I don't think I have cute toes. So I wouldn't be able to pull it off.
So leave those out of the
Yeah, I totally just like, you want to touch knees maybe?
touch knees.
I got kind of cool knees.
See, I have a weird thing with my kneecaps though. It freaks me out if they move. And so
What?
like, yeah.
But that's what they're supposed to do.
I know, but it freaks me out. Like if somebody goes to touch my knee, I just have this like horrible thing in my head that my kneecap's gonna like be pulled off
Dislocate
or
or something.
Yeah, and it's really weird. So I don't know. I think if somebody tried to like kneecap touch me, I would freak out.
And you'd be like, not so hard.
Not so
Soft, please.
Be gentle with me.
I remember when I was little, I would play around like that, just move it around. I'd be like, oh my God, I wonder how, like, am I the only person that can do this? Like, I thought it was like weird. It was so
Or like
funny.
the tongue thing. I always thought I was the only one who could ever do like the taco thing.
Oh, really?
Like where you...
Mm-hmm.
But then people can do the clover. They can flip it different ways.
Yeah,
and I was like, well,
I
I'm
can never
not
do
cool.
the turn one. Like, people are like, I can flip it sideways. And it's like, okay, I can't do that.
Yeah, good for you.
But again, I guess everybody has like a cool talent. Everybody does something amazing.
They do. Absolutely.
Is
This is cool.
Is this?
This is like not something I could do all the time. So I think you're pretty cool for having this talent.
Really?
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's like it's a great hobby that I'm into. I'm just like, oh, podcasting's cool because not only do I get to like show the world what I like to do because I want to be famous. I'm one of those, yeah, one day I'm going to be famous. But I also like to have a conversation with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nobody does that anymore. Like, we're going to sit here for an hour and talk about whatever and whatever. And nobody does that anymore. Mm-hmm. Not in a way where it's like random conversation. It's just like, oh, what are you doing? And then
Phone.
and then they go into another conversation, or they base it off of what they saw on the phone and stuff, and that's kind of disheartening. And that's like, oh well, what's going on there?
That's something I've noticed. So I've been single for about 9 months and getting back into the dating scene. That's something I've noticed is phones almost start conversations.
Oh no, don't say that.
I know, but it's awful. Like the last date I went on, the guy I was with just pulled out his phone, started scrolling through Facebook, and I kind of was like, okay, you gonna talk to me at any point? But it was a meme that he saw. He was like, oh, have you seen this? And then we had like a 20-minute conversation about memes, but like that's what started our conversation. So I thought that was interesting, like how, I don't know, people are almost reliant on like some kind of stimulus, like, oh, I can converse with you, but only if I have like a topic.
Yeah, if there's something to talk about.
I'm the opposite. I will sit here and talk to you about everything.
Whatever we can think of. That's the beauty of what I try to do too. Because when I first started the podcast, to be honest, I was kind of flaky. I was like, oh man, but as it grows, as I've gotten better, I've gotten just random things start popping up, and you never know what people think. Especially if they're the interests that I'm into, then I just want to find out. Maybe you're into it or not. I don't know.
For sure.
Like, I don't know, aliens?
See?
I mean, see, there's so many topics to go into, but see, that's the beauty of this podcast. But let's just start off slow.
Okay.
We first met
through
our amazing, like, what we do. Like, it's kind of our side job.
Entertainment.
Yeah, but I want to be, like, yeah, pretty much entertainment. We did a show together, and that was fun. And then I was like, this whole lineup of shows is going to happen. We're going to have so much fun. And then
nothing.
Yeah, the corona hit, and it was just like, what happened here? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience. It's cool. I got to meet you.
Yeah.
And got to hang out, and we talked a little bit, and we just like started to get some mutual interest, and now she's here, guys.
Woohoo!
So that's the whole beauty of this, is that there's more to come from it.
Yeah, for sure.
But what got you into first performing? Were you always a natural performer?
I was going to say, how far back do you want me to go?
Go start from the first time.
The first time.
In the womb, like...
Pretty much, my mom said that I was like either in her ribs or in her pelvis, just always doing moving. Something. So, yeah, I mean, we want to start there. I could even go further back. I'm sure as an egg, I was pretty wild, but that's a weird conversation.
Maybe, I don't know if you're a firm believer of that, but in a past life, you've done things.
Oh, I totally think that is a whole conversation I could have with you.
We're just going to be a fun time.
But no, performance. I actually started with my mom. We were doing clog dancing. Have you seen clogging?
I think so. It's not like river dancing, is it?
No, so it's like tap river dancing, but with tap and river dancing, the shoes have one clasp that kind of hits the floor and makes one single sound.
Okay.
Clogs sit on like a hinge almost, so when you hit, there's two like clink, clink.
Pretty much all the time.
Yeah, so it's just real constant, and it's kind of crazy and fun. But yeah, I did that with my mom.
How long? Can you still do it?
Oh no. I tried actually, and I almost slipped, and yeah, it would have been horrible. But I think we did that for about 2 years when I lived in California. That's where I'm from. So yeah. And then I did Palm Squad at my elementary school. I was a little
Palm Squad,
like the little cheer, like.
Is it cheerleading? Not really though, right?
It's not like, we don't do like the tumbling part of it. Okay. It's just the dance part. But yeah, I was a cute little third grader with my little palms.
Yay!
Yeah, did that. And then, really just found every opportunity I could in middle school. I tried different sports, and even that I think is an element of entertainment and performance. You're in front of people and putting on some kind of a show.
That makes sense.
High school was when I got into theater, musical theater. My very first show was High School Musical.
Oh my God.
I was a cheerleader, and it was the best thing in my life. I loved every second of it. But actually, theater really transformed my life compared to who I am right now, sitting in front of you having this conversation. I was very shy growing up.
Okay.
But standing on a stage, I get to be somebody different. So I don't have to think about, oh, this is Abby standing here talking or dancing or doing whatever. I can be anybody else that I want to be.
Miss Daisy Darlin.
Miss Daisy Darlin. Woo-hoo.
There you go.
But yeah, so that was kind of my start. And then with burlesque up here in Albuquerque, I had a really good friend in Cruces introduce me to burlesque in El Paso, actually.
Okay.
And I kind of fell in love with just how risque it was. I don't know. It was just fun to see, and it was different. And then when I moved up here, again, got invited to a show, and Dee Divine is actually the first person I ever saw perform, and I about died.
Fell in love.
I did. My heart just came out of my chest.
It
and
happens.
I was like, please marry me. But yeah, so then I started working with her and Sidewinders and got my first gig, and I'm sold.
Okay.
I'm going to do this till I'm old and saggy.
So now I need to know how did you come to New Mexico? Like, what brought you here?
My mom remarried.
Okay.
Yeah, so we moved from Northern California when I was 7 to Rio Rancho. And then when I was 11, we moved to Cruces. And then I moved back here in 2016.
Okay, so New Mexico is just back and forth.
Back and forth, pretty much, yeah. I say I was born in California, but raised here.
But that's you still experience some memories there, right?
Oh, absolutely. And then I spent every summer there, like with family and stuff.
Good.
So I did partially grow up there. I actually just had a conversation yesterday about, people moving back home or like your hometown feel. And I always considered California home until where I grew up pretty much has just caught on fire for the last 10 years.
Oh, geez.
So a lot of my hometown is gone.
It's
and
not
so
the
for
same,
me,
yeah.
like going home, it doesn't feel like home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just the idea is like not there anymore.
No, it's not. And I don't know. I agree with the cliche that home is what you make it. Or home. Yeah.
Homo.
Yes. And then your live, laugh, love signs, because I'm a basic white girl. But, I mean, I don't know. I do think at some point, though, like the material things make a home a home. And like for me, my grandparents lost their house in one of the forest fires.
Oh, geez.
So not having an actual place anymore really affected me too. I was like, well, I don't have a home anymore. It's not there. So I don't know. It's kind of a different...
I like that aspect, though. It was more of the feelings. Like, maybe it was, like, something sentimental, like a blanket, or, like, the way that something felt. It was just, like, this is more home-like than an actual home.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so actually, my first tattoo is on my arm. It's blackberries.
Okay.
And I got this for my grandparents' house because behind their house... So their house kind of sat here on the front of the property, and behind there was my mom and I's house. And we had a creek that went in between them, and we had blackberry bushes. So I would go, when I was little, I'd go and pick them. My grandma would make blackberry jam and stuff. So when the house burned down, I was like, I always thought of blackberries. Again, just that felt like home almost. And so to kind of commemorate that was my first tattoo. But yeah, I know it's interesting what you, again, cliches. You don't realize what you have until it's gone, kind of thing. It's like, true. Oh, man, I miss that feeling.
Please tell me you have, like, a BlackBerry phone or something. Just one of those nostalgic things, like, this is home.
Oh, my BlackBerry. Okay,
home is where you make it.
I hated those phones, though. That was, like, my second phone ever, and I could not push the buttons.
Keyboard.
They were like this.
I know. It was retarded.
It was absolutely terrible.
It's just something that they made, too, that was like, this is convenient for everybody. And then, like, you're just like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Like,
who said this is convenient?
Like, little kids play with this more, and now you kind of understand it more. But now you see the phone develop more. It's developed for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's crazy to look at phones. I actually, speaking of old phones, found one in my mom's garage. I had one of those sidekicks.
Oh,
that
dope.
You would like flip up.
Those are pretty cool.
But I was like, what was the point of that?
It's flashy.
That was literally the only reason anybody had that phone. That was like, hey, I'm cool.
It made a noise
Don't
when it
mess
turned
with
on.
me.
I totally would. I wanted one of those phones. I was one of those guys. I was like, oh, look at me and my shitty flip phone. You guys got your cool ass sidekicks.
Sidekicks. It even sounded cool.
Yeah.
Like, I got a sidekick.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, check it out. But that's weird now, too, to accept that a phone is pretty much like a part of us now.
Yeah.
It does everything. Like, you pretty much have contact with anybody you need to. You can find out anything you need. Like, so much people rely on it for health reasons, for like, it's amazing. Like, I love it and hate it at the same time.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, when I first got my iPhone, there was that medical card you could put in there. It literally lists like your allergies, whatever. So if something were to happen to you, they could pull up your info on your phone. I was like, that's kind of...
Too intrusive?
Like, that's cool, but I don't know how cool it is. It's just kind of interesting.
Oh, man.
I don't know. And then with the whole COVID thing, too, there's an update for iPhones now where they can do contact tracing and they can check who you're with and around and stuff.
Yeah,
and
see, that's crazy to think about.
that's weird. I'm like, I really only use my phone for texting. I don't think about it in
the
like,
sense of like,
yeah, I don't know.
It's like
outside of that world.
pew, pew, pew. Oh, okay. I'm safe if I walk this way.
Yeah. Oh shit, you have a temperature. Okay.
or like it just like I iPhones are crazy because they're so much smarter, but like just knowing that an iPhone is next to another iPhone is cool.
Yeah.
And then if you have all this medical information on you, like what's not to say it's going to be like, you know,
shared
or warnings, just like, oh, if you get too close to this one, your iPhone buzzes or something, or just something like kind of intrusive.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
I feel like that's coming though.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm into conspiracies. Conspiracies are out there.
Oh, totally.
The government's always watching us. What's up, guys? You guys are awesome.
Hey, big brother.
Patrick did leave a comment. He's like, "Hey, Muse, your guest is beautiful. What a great smile."
Oh, well, thank you.
Heck yeah, guys. That's awesome. So thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm so awkward taking compliments. Thank you, Pat. I really actually mean it, but I'm like, it's like when somebody's singing you happy birthday and you're kind of like, what do I do?
Sons of I think it's Skyly7. I'm not too sure if I'm saying that correctly. Which headphones? Mine or hers? He's like, well, I have cool headphones. And I try to answer the comments while we're talking and stuff.
Probably yours. I was actually going to mention when you first put those on that those were really dope.
It's hers. That gamer girl right there.
Oh.
She has the same headphones, and I like her a lot. She's cool.
That's cool.
Again, nerd. I'm such a nerd.
I prefer these kind of headphones over those little AirPods that everybody, I don't know,
are raving about.
Yeah, like they look cool, but I have really tiny ears. I've literally had the doctor tell me that the inside of my ear is like too small.
Is that a thing?
Apparently.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
So like they won't stay in my ear. They'll literally fall out.
And just like, oh my god, the Q-tip is abusing.
Yeah, it's awful. And then my dad always makes fun of me. So I have a 3-year-old son and he's like, oh, his ears are the same size as yours. So yeah, apparently you can have little ears. If you didn't know.
Is that
now you know.
There's no hearing problems or anything,
no.
right? Okay, that's
totally,
good.
Yeah.
That'd be awkward. It's just like you can't hear things because your ears are little.
Everything sounds. I know. Well, they make jokes with people about big ears. Like, oh, you can hear from space.
So yeah.
No, but I can hear fine. I just have tiny ears.
That's awesome.
That's a thing.
I'm jealous.
Are you jealous?
I've made fun. People have made fun of my ears before, so.
Oh.
Yeah, that's no.
I was gonna say your ears are probably normal, but I can't.
Yeah, and then I don't know, with a lot of hair, I haven't gotten a haircut lately. The whole freaking COVID thing, everyone's all freaking out. It's like, yeah, I'm just like, well, I guess I won't get a haircut for a while. But then if I don't get a haircut, I look like I do have COVID because I'm all wrangly and stuff.
People are like, ooh,
I know,
That
right?
guy.
That guy's got like a lot of hair. It's all messy.
As long as you don't have like stuff in your hair, I think you'll be okay.
I have a bad problem of like letting it get a little too greasy sometimes.
Yeah. See, it depends on the shampoo that you use. So my best friend's a hairstylist. She actually just trimmed up my hair because it was getting really bad. But I told her the same thing. I was like, my hair is always greasy. I'm washing my hair, almost every day, and it's just ridiculous. She was like, oh, well, when you shampoo, you're only supposed to like scrub your scalp. You don't run it through like the rest of your hair.
Okay.
And then conditioner is the opposite. You only put it on the ends of your hair. And she said most people get greasy hair because they put conditioner all over it.
Okay. That makes sense.
And I was like, okay.
Because I am there with like with my soap. I'm just like, yeah, grabbing a hair strand. I got this. This is all nice and smooth.
See, now you're overwashing. That's the problem.
That's jeez.
Didn't know you could wash your hair wrong.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jesus.
Yeah. No, I learn new things every day, especially from like my students. I don't know. They tell me all kinds of different things now, like talking about phones and stuff. Like, do you know you could do this? Or the Facebook avatar. I was so upset that I could not figure out how to use it. I literally called my mom. My mom had it. I was like, how did you do that? And she had to like explain to me step by step. And then, I don't know, now I feel cool because I finally have one.
I could drop one in here and there.
Yeah. I like totally drop them in unnecessarily too. Like somebody will post a thing and I just put the like big heart thing.
Nice.
Just because I can.
I think, yeah, I know. I'm just like, oh man, you guys are just far behind because I don't know if you use Snapchat, but then yeah, I'm just like, I already have one. Like, are they supposed to look the same? Like, I don't get what's going on here.
Yeah, you know what I did think was cool though with the Facebook one is, did you notice they have the mirror option? You literally could turn on your camera So like while you were building your emoji. Or
Oh,
your
yeah, I
avatar,
did see that.
You could like see
Yeah,
yourself.
I did see that.
See, that was my problem when I first got Bitmoji. I was literally looking in my bathroom mirror and like picking traits because I had to see what I actually looked like.
My hair's a little longer than this one.
Yeah, I was like, they need more hair shade options.
They do. Or hair in general. I'm just like, I only get a pick from 15.
For 15, I know.
I'm just so, that makes no sense.
Have you always had your hair long like that?
Yeah, for the most part. For the most part. I've never, actually, no, I'm lying. I'm sorry. I should never have done that. I'm so sorry.
Boo.
So, do you happen to know what a condition alopecia is? Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
Okay, it's not anything contagious.
No, it's like
It's not as bad as COVID.
oh, good.
But it's a condition where you lose your hair due to stress. It's weird. So what happened to me is that I guess I was, I don't know, stressed out, or I really don't know. Apparently stressed. But one day I was just like hanging out and I took off my hat, and one of my roommates was like, "Oh, dude, do you have like a bald spot?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, like a bald spot. Like literally, if I moved my hair in a certain way, right there would be a little like coin-sized bald spot right
Oh my
there."
gosh.
So I freaked out and I was just like, "What's going on?" Blah blah blah. I looked up online and it was just like cancer. I'm just like, no,
I'm dying.
but that's not true because I do got to get radiation first.
Yeah.
But I just freaked out. I didn't know what I didn't know. So I went to the doctor and they told me it's alopecia. Alopecia is a symptom caused by stress. And there's different forms of it. There's even like a thing known as universal alopecia where you lose everything, all your hair.
Whoa.
Everything goes bald. So
That might be kind of nice, though. I don't like shaving my legs. So.
lucky. But it's actually pretty common in a lot of Americans. So
That's interesting.
and when I found out, my mom was like, "Yeah, I have it too." I was like, "What's going on in life?"
Girl, you could have told me that before I freaked out about having cancer.
But it wasn't as bad as I thought. So what I did is like I ended up developing 3 of them. So there was 3 bald spots on my head, and I was just like, "Fuck this." I'm just shaving it all off. So I actually, like, literally Heisenberged it, razor blade and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to like, it wasn't even that long ago. It was probably maybe like 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And
your hair's grown up?
this much, yeah.
Dang.
I honestly am kind of scared though because I think I do have another bald spot. Yeah, in the back of my head over here, and I'm just like, what is stressing me out? Like I come
Corona.
home. That might be the case. I mean, that's kind of the thing too, because my workload has gotten a little bit more heavy.
How them?
And I work in the medical field and actually work in the kitchen for a retirement home.
Oh,
So
I did not know that. That's
yeah.
really cool.
I like it. It's a really rewarding job.
Yeah, I bet.
A lot of people don't see it that way. They're just like, oh, I gotta like make sandwiches and I gotta make blah blah blah. But then you really gotta think about like these old people don't really eat that much. You gotta try to feed them the best you can.
Yeah.
Put love and affection in the food because like I know when I see a plate and it looks gross, I don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
And I try to kind of have that mentality for them too. Like
Absolutely.
we kind of follow a menu and stuff like that, but I want to make it as appealing and as appetizing to them so that they do like it. Because there's even some elderly people that have certain diet restrictions.
Yeah.
So they have to eat like baby food and stuff like that, like pureed straight mush, and I kind of feel bad, but then you try to like make it lively with a little bit of color and some flavor and
shape it into a heart.
make it for them to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just been a little bit harder now because working in a kitchen with full mask and full goggles is just, it's kind of unbearing. It's a little hot. I'm just like constantly, I feel like I'm spreading more disease than anything. I'm constantly
like you're
sweating.
the epicenter, yeah.
And just like constantly wiping my face off, and I'm just like, damn it. And
I gotta wash my hands.
I'm running back. I'm just like, this is so much harder now. It's just like, it's bad.
It's more to think about. I think talking about like stress. So I'm a teacher and we got this whole email about different guidelines to expect coming back. And yeah, I mean, there's just so much more expectation now for sanitation, for cleaning, for not touching your face, for making sure people around you don't touch whatever they're not supposed to. And I'm like, that's going to cause more anxiety for anybody.
That's true.
And like, you know, my students even now, I mean, they freak out about washing their hands because I teach science. They're like, oh, I have this on my hands. I'm like, go do it. But if they're washing their hands 16 times in the middle of a lesson, I'm like, just get away from the sink.
Yeah, how many times can you be disturbed during
yeah,
the
exactly.
lesson or
So I
something?
don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But yeah, that's cool. I really like how you said that too. Like some people take their job, or everybody looks at their job differently.
Yeah.
You know, I actually just had a conversation about teaching because somebody was like, I don't know how you do it. It's so stressful. And like you have to babysit. And they were kind of listing all the negative things about being a teacher. But for me, I was like, it's the most rewarding job I think I could possibly have. I'm influencing people and changing people's lives. And if I can end up being a role model or a mentor to anybody, I want that.
Yeah.
You know, I actually am still in touch with my 6th grade English teacher, my 7th grade history teacher, my high school drama teacher. Like,
Oh.
they're important people in my life. And I don't know, I think that that's kind of what I wanted to be when I became a teacher was, yes, I'm an educator and I have a job to do, but I also want to create a safe space and I want to be a trusted person and I want to take my job to that next level.
That's awesome.
You know?
Because now that I'm thinking about that too, I'm just like, yeah, Mr. Katz was awesome. And like, yeah, Mr. Goudelet was nice.
See, and if you were to reach out to them, that's the thing too, is like as students, you don't think about it, but like as teachers, we remember. Like if
Yeah.
you were to reach out and be like, hey,
Well,
just thought about you randomly, they'd probably be like, oh my gosh, that's
I got
so
surprised
cool.
too for my birthday. Like, you know, when people just send random like happy birthday on Facebook, stuff like that. I got some from my teacher and I was just like, whoa, what the hell? It's you, Miss Scarf. You were my pottery teacher in high school. She's actually really nice, influential person. But I feel like that's what's great about school, right? You go to learn something. I went to learn pottery with this lady.
That's so cool.
But I ended up learning about like I learned more lessons about life and like opening my mind to different ideas and stuff than anything. Because of her, I kind of now have more of like a fascination of like the world and why things happen and like other worlds and universes, and it blows me away.
How
But
they connect.
yeah, I would have never gotten that way because, you know, everyone else is just like, oh, the criteria is do this, blah, blah, blah. But she was more, you know, hands-on and actually wanted to, like, interact with their students. And that is so sick. And I
Yeah.
love how you do that. And that's just that's awesome. Like, makes me think.
I think it's taking like the background lesson from everything too. Like I remember in theater, I mean, obviously I was learning theater terminology. I was learning show etiquette and I was learning all these things. But there was one thing that my teacher always said and I never forgot it. And she was like, do what you love, the rest will come. And she would say it all the time and I just never really put it into practice. I would remember her saying it. And now that I've gotten older and like I find myself doing burlesque and like as soon as I stepped on stage and did my very first show, I was signed up for 6 more gigs. And I was like, literally, do what you love and everything else kind of falls into place. And I try to like instill that in my students too, or like when I teach them a lesson, I tell them, okay, yeah, you're doing this for our earth science project, but the tools that I'm giving you, you can use when you get to college. I'm teaching you how to note take for any course, or you know what I mean? So taking whatever that lesson is, but applying it to a broader sense.
In any sense, like,
Yeah.
I can think about it now. If you're just in class trying to comprehend something, like, you pretty much take that into the world. Like, literally, like, are you going to go to a coffee shop and start talking with somebody and not pay attention to the conversation?
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
zone out and stuff like that? That's all part of, like, the learning process that happens at school. And that's what I love about that.
Well, see, like teaching drama too. So I actually taught drama last year and everybody freaks out about improv. You know what improv is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no script. You're just kind of thrown into a situation. Everybody, for some reason, freaks out. They're like, oh my God, what do you mean I have to pretend there's a dragon in the corner? Like,
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. But I tell people, I'm like, you improv every day. And my students kind of looked at me like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, did you wake up this morning and script the conversation you were going to have with me right now? And they look at me like, whoa. Like, I didn't realize that I improv every day. And I'm like, yeah, you learn that skill, but it takes you to other places. Or vice versa. Things that you do learn in the real world, you can kind of apply backwards in your education.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially in drama. Like, I love that thing too. If you're just like, man, I'm a really tough guy, and then you're just like, well, bring it to the stage. Be that tough person when you're acted upon, you know, when you're like the macho I don't know, character or
Yeah.
any kind of sense.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
don't mess with me.
Even if you don't want to play it, like that's the beauty of acting and stuff like that. Like you can be who you want to be, and that's fun.
Absolutely. I think the hardest thing I ever did was I played Mrs. Lovett in Sweeney Todd, and like I'm so not her. Like I'm furthest from. I'm not like a dark character, you know what I mean? And she had all these, I don't know, when you really dive into like her character development, she's got a lot of things and a lot of layers and a lot of levels.
Yeah.
Like for me as Abby, I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm just happy, positive, and whatever. So that was a challenge to be like something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like dark overtones and just like, man, but I don't think about my dog being dead or anything.
I don't think, yeah, exactly. Or even like with, you know, stage, with like your stage persona, like as Daisy, she's totally different than who I am as a person as well, you know, and yeah, you get to be kind of whoever you want to be.
I can see that. That's what I love about comedy too. It's like, especially when you get into a situation where you're like describing a story or something, you can play the role of whoever you are in the story. Like, you know, I could just be like, oh, I went to a store and I met this really, really obnoxious old person, and then I can play the role
You could
of the
be that
old person, and as good as I do it, as whatever kind of portrays of how well the comedy gets played out. And I love that because you'll develop as you go on, because maybe you will not be able to imitate or play an old person so well, but then you'll see what made somebody laugh, and then you'll be like, oh, that's why, because I touched myself in the knee. It's just little things like that. I'm pretty sure would make it a little bit more entertaining.
You pick up on like little things.
That's
What is the corniest joke that you can think of right now?
the corniest joke? The corniest joke would be, I hate you. I don't know what to say.
You're a comedian. Come on. You
That
can
was
think
pretty.
of-
That was yeah. I do. I don't like what you just told me right there. That makes me so upset. I was put on the spot for this. This is my show.
You're like, she's not coming back.
Well, I'm actually I've always loved improv a little bit more than stand-up.
Really?
Because improv, actually, I love trying to be the character or trying to do that. So I'm going to try to incorporate it more in stand-up. But I'm such a rookie. Like, when you met me, I was barely, like, 6 months into comedy.
Yeah, but you were so good. You made me laugh.
Oh, my God.
And then, was it my birthday show that you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did your birthday
was
show.
Dying. It was great.
I was pretty impressed, too, because I was just like, oh, man, I can't believe that from when I first started at an open mic to actually being asked to, like, hey, you want to come do my show? Like, that's what? Like, and I mean, don't get me wrong, shout out to Bear, you're awesome. But, you know, he kind of did, you know, he kind of vouched. He's like, this is a funny guy. He's been working.
Yeah.
He's doing some stuff. And that's always good to know, too, in that kind of community, is that there's a lot of camaraderie. Like, a lot of people are just like, I'll help each other out. I'll help you. Oh, no, I got a rip in my dress.
Don't worry,
I'm
we're
here.
on it.
Yeah, it's so cool to think about.
It's a very open environment. Like, yeah, it's very warm and like welcoming. And I remember my first show, I was freaking out. Everything was kind of, I mean, not falling apart, but just not in place. And Ravenesque, if you happen to ever watch this, I love you. She came up to me and she was like, I will help you. Like, I mean, I didn't even know her, and she just stepped in and was like, hey, this is taken care of. She came up to me and she was like, I found this person to run the front for you. And I was like, wow, I didn't even have to ask. You just kind of stepped up and knew, you know. But
took that leader role.
yeah, no, it is very nice. And like, yeah, meeting Bear meeting you through Bear, like him and I have become really good friends, like best friends. And yeah, right away when he was like, hey, I've got somebody, I was like, that's it.
Let's try
Sold.
it. Let's do it.
Let's get him.
Yeah, and Bear's cool too. I really like Bear. I'm gonna try to have him on the podcast again.
I know. Bear, if you're watching,
Holla at your boy.
get on here.
Let us know what you're doing. Oh, man. But again, this is the thing about the Corona thing is like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like second guessing when I ask them to come on the show as well, too.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel I kind of don't want to ask in that sense, too.
You almost get discouraged.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, he's that guy. He's still doing podcasts. Well, this disease is going on. And
Are we 6 feet away?
No, unfortunately. I'm so sorry.
Just kidding.
I can vouch that I've been tested multiple times and I have the proof on my phone.
Perfect.
So that I hope that reassures anybody watching right now and anybody that wants to come on the show.
He's good.
Yeah, I swear. Like, I have no symptoms. But then again, the whole thing, it's like, it could be asymptomatic. You could give it to somebody. I'm just like, this is so scary.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, it's one of those scenarios where I'm just like, because now, how do you feel about, well, we kind of had to deal with it. You did, the mask law thing going on where you have to wear masks in certain establishments, or businesses aren't even opening because of what's going on. They're just like, nope.
Nope, we're not going to deal with it. Well, it was kind of crazy. So with being a teacher, we had to start cleaning out our classrooms, and they put in the email, they said, please wear gloves and masks. Don't come in the building without them. But like today, we had our 8th grade promotion, and nobody wore masks. Like everybody was just kind of like, this is dumb. I mean, we're outside. We are social distancing. I mean, nobody stood too close to each other. I can't say we were 6 feet apart, but I mean, there was no sense of like, oh my God, you have the corona.
Yeah.
Don't get near me. Like,
and now it's even worse when you put on the mask because it feels like, oh,
people start looking at you.
Does he have corona or does he not? Well,
exactly.
At least he has a mask on.
That's why I asked you when I pulled up. I was like, hey, you want me to bring my mask in? Because anymore, I don't know. Some people are okay with it. Some people aren't. And I'm like, do you? You know what I mean? I don't care. But yeah, it's interesting how, yeah, you're kind of judged either way. Like, oh, you're not wearing one. Are you being safe? Or you're wearing one. It's like,
I know. That's so disheartening though, because I feel like, oh man, are you just gonna judge me even though like I'm okay? Like that always feels weird too. It's just like now it feels like it's also like a political side thing as well.
Oh, it is.
Like, oh, you wear your mask, you're probably a Democrat. Oh, you don't wear your mask, well, you're probably a Republican. Like, yeah. I don't get that. I don't want to be any of those.
I'm just telling you, I don't want to wear a mask, or I do.
Right? Leave me alone. Like,
no, that was kind of. I keep getting in Facebook fights. I'm guilty.
As long as you're not in Facebook jail. Have you been?
I'm not in Facebook jail. I've not been put there.
Okay,
no, I've
good.
kept myself good. But you know, I kind of put on there one day. I said it's not. I feel like it's not about the virus anymore, because it isn't anymore. It's like as soon as you make a statement, oh, that's because you're this. Oh, that's because you voted this way, or and I'm like, it has nothing to do with. Like, right? Why does it come up? But I don't know. I think we do live in such like a polarizing time. You know what I mean? Like there's such a big generational gap between the older Americans and the younger Americans. And so, yeah, I mean, you're either or. There is no room for gray area.
That's no fair. I want to be purple.
Unless you're cool like us.
I want to be purple. Yeah, that's what's kind of crazy too. You have to find the people that do have those same belief systems. Because exactly. I mean, I don't want to be a douchebag either and just be like, oh, you totally believe in just all of that stuff. Like,
yeah.
You're probably still a pretty nice person. I mean, maybe you do have some different decisions or different choices, but I mean, I'm not judging you on the basis of should I get a welfare check or not. I'm judging you.
Did you cash your stimulus check? Can't be friends.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to be that person just like, oh, well, as long as you know the morals and values of being a good person, then...
I was like, if you're a good person, you know what I mean? Like... I did in one of my Facebook fights, somebody unfriended me, and I right away was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I reached out to them. I was like, I never meant to take it that far, and I'm really sorry that your feelings got hurt. And I was like, I'm not that person. I'm really not. Like, yes, I have these beliefs, but I don't want to be known for being rude or degrading or anything like that. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's been interesting. I do know I need to get off Facebook.
Do you need to get off of it? Mark, what's up? Mark just says, hey.
Hi, Mark.
Thanks for joining. We're just here chatting it up. How do you feel about what's going on in the world?
I was going to say, we should hear.
All right, nobody's talking to us.
Nobody's talking?
No.
Lame.
I know, they're just listening. They're just here enjoying.
So can you see like how many people are listening?
We have a few viewers. We have 3 concurrent viewers, and we've had a peak of 7, and it just in and out throughout the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
I'm still amateur.
No, this is cool. I'm having fun.
And the whole thing about this is just doing it.
Like,
because nobody knows that it's out there until they see it. So they just constantly have to keep doing it and constantly have to keep promoting it. And then by the time you know it, the concurring viewers are going to be 20, 40, 500. I mean, I'm almost at 300 subscribers now.
6,000. Hey.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So pretty much every time I've done a podcast, I've gotten maybe 1 or 2 subscribers.
That's so cool.
So I mean, there's progress, guys.
Woohoo, let's
Thank
get
you.
more.
I don't know if you know this, but you know how Facebook people give their like Facebook followers names and stuff. Like, you know, say if you're like Jake Paul, you know who Jake Paul is.
Is he that YouTuber guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jake Paulers or something. I don't remember. But like, you know, like your team, these are my Mavericks. They always subscribe to my. I don't know what they're. I've come up with like Museans maybe.
Museum. I was gonna say it's maybe a play off of your name here.
Or like my buddies. I don't know.
My pals.
My subscribers, my followers. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you guys.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, I've seen podcasts, I've listened to podcasts, but I still have to be honest. When you asked me, I was like, what am I doing? Are we going to talk? Does he have questions? Do I have to perform? It's like, what am I doing?
And that's the beauty of podcasts, because it turns into like, it could be that. It could have been like, you come on and we only talk about your favorite 90s movies. Or you only come on and we do best show of 29, anything, like any ideas, any aspects. We're going to critique different waters, you know. Podcast ideas are there's so much out there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And to think about it is just like, I mean, it's just a conversation. So that's why, in my sense, I mean, I start talking and I'm just like, it'll probably end up in something weird where we're just like talking about water or just this conversation. Again, this whole thing, nobody does this anymore.
No.
Just get to look, get to see your reaction, and when I call myself like muscular and stuff like that.
Yeah, hey.
So it's fun. I love it.
This is fun, yeah.
And it's been weirder though, because people are now just doing it on Skype calls and stuff. Like the Zoom calls and stuff like that. They're
or like
just
the Google Meets or whatever.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, we can still do a podcast, but we'll have to do it like over the phone or like.
I don't know. You kind of almost lose that like.
Yeah.
Because I do literally feel like I'm having a conversation with you. So if I was over the phone, I don't think it would feel. It would feel almost like an interview or something.
Yeah, that'd be even weirder.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like I could at least if I wanted to, I'd just be like, no, calm down, wait, let me interrupt you.
If I got real,
yeah, but on the phone, I could just be like, la 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 la, and nobody really can stop you. So if I hang up or something, but
that's been honestly the worst thing about having Google Meet meetings with my students. They don't know how to mute, so I'll be like talking or trying to have a conversation. You hear somebody in the back like yelling. They're all, Dad, I'm doing work.
So how bad has that been though? It's like,
been really bad.
Are they really? Okay, so my roommate, as you heard when
is a teacher.
Yeah, he's been doing it in the other room as well too. And I'm just like, I sit there and I just kind of like, oh my god, this is so bad. I'm just like, what's going through your head right now when like some of the kids are listening, some of the kids are just touching themselves. I don't know what they're doing. There's just so much things going on that you just don't know, because it's just like literally just kind of entertaining.
It literally feels
it's weird.
Like I'm like herding cats. Have you ever seen that YouTube video? It's like a rancher commercial, but it's like a satire. So they're like herding cats. No, but literally,
let's watch it. Go ahead.
We need to watch it if you can pull it up.
Go ahead.
That's literally how it feels like. I'm like doing something different, and I'm trying so hard to like keep their attention. I've got one kid yelling at their dad, one kid that's like holding their dog up to the camera like,
oh
look,
my
this
god,
is Penny. And I'm like, guys, we're talking about the solar system. What is happening? Yeah, so it's really interesting. And then even like with staff meetings too, adults, we're a mess. I can't even tell you how many times people have like, oh my gosh, is this it?
With stupid advertising. Guess what?
YouTube ads.
You're not getting any volume on my podcast. But if you do sponsor, that'd be awesome.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. I have no idea why the concurrent counters is not working, but I went to go look. There's 12. Awesome.
12.
What's up, people? Thank you for joining. You guys are awesome. Let me know what you guys are thinking on the podcast. You on every day, Mark? No, I'm not on every day, but I'm trying to be. So this has actually been a good week. Why are we still watching this? I'm so sorry. Here we go.
Oh yeah, this is it.
Grandfather. He's the first cat herder in our family. Herding cats. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy.
Why is there this much cats in the desert?
Half wild short hairs. Well, that's another thing altogether. Being a cat herder is probably about the toughest thing I think I've ever done.
I got this one this morning.
This is
here.
bad.
If you look at his face, it's just ripped to shreds, you know.
Guys, go look up the video. EDS and HP Company, cat herders. Go look it up right now.
Isn't that amazing? I always tell people, I'm like, that's kind of how my Google Meet meetings go.
That makes sense.
It's like that with the one guy all scratched and all his face just torn to shreds. And like, that's how I feel when I'm trying to
trying to calm these people down.
like, I feel like I'm shredded.
That's just crazy too, because you just tell them to mute themselves, right? Just be like, hey
Yeah, but they
guys,
don't.
mute yourself. You guys are being too loud. I'm trying to teach something here.
Yeah, or like with me trying to teach and I've got my 3-year-old at home, he's like screaming in the back. So every time I'm not talking, I have to mute it real quick so that I'm not like being the disruptive one.
Big that person.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I don't know. I remember when Skype came out, I thought it was so cool, and then it got kind of irritating. Like people would be like, "Hey, let's Skype." And I was like, "No, I don't want you to see me right now."
Yeah, that's not even.
And now we're like back to it being like
Cool again.
the norm, or I'm like, oh, that means I have to actually get ready and.
Yeah, because now like I think people FaceTime more than actually call people. Mm-hmm. What's up, dog?
Oh my goodness.
She obviously wants attention.
back.
Okay, so this is usually what happens. She'll be like, "Hey, what's up? I need attention," and then she's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go wreck something now." This is what she does.
She's so cute.
I love her eyebrows.
I was gonna say I noticed that she has the little.
Yeah, she's a mixed breed with what I was told is a husky and a pit bull, which is pretty intriguing.
That's an interesting combination.
So I don't know. I was working at the retirement home, and this receptionist had a part-time job as a veterinarian. So she actually had quite a bit of dogs, and
Gotcha.
recently came into with her. And so she's actually didn't have enough room to start training and taking care of BB-8. At the time, her name was Akira.
Maybe it's better.
I thought it was better too. And then, so she's like, "Hey, can you take this dog?" Because I was looking for a dog at that time too, and I was like, "Yeah, I would love to have the dog." But she was kind of like picky. She was like, "Are you gonna let the dog outside during the day?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna let the dog play outside if that's if my roommate's there,
cool.
have the door open." And she's like, "Oh, you're not gonna be there to like take care of it?" Like she was very.
Oh.
You should be there at all times to watch your dog doing something. If not, it should be in a kennel, making sure it doesn't ruin stuff or if it's not trained correctly. I'm just like, oh, well, I'm probably not gonna have that much time to do all that. I just want a dog to start. It's my first dog, and she totally was against letting me have her.
Really? Oh my gosh, how sad though.
I was
if you want the dog.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. So maybe a week went by, and I kind of was a douchebag, and I was just like, oh, I did some dog research, and I told you I'm going to be more responsible. I'll totally take care of the dog more, which I have been. I've learned so much more about taking the dog. I mean, I walk her every day. I try to give her as much nutrition and feed her as well as I can. I mean, it's literally like taking a kid, but not really, but kind of.
Yeah. Well, so having a toddler.
We're talking about you, dog.
Her ears were ringing. No, I mean, having a toddler and a dog, it's pretty much the same. I can sit here and say that.
That makes sense.
Honestly, my dog is sometimes worse.
Oh, really?
My son's at the point where he knows where his muffins are, so he can go and kind of feed himself. He even knows how to turn on his tablet.
Dope.
So he's pretty self-sufficient. But my dog, she's needy
Still
and whiny.
Still might want to do something.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you need to be self-sufficient.
And how long you said? 7 years?
She turned 7 in June.
Dang.
Her very first year, I threw her a puppy party.
Oh.
And it was the cutest thing. I made I put peanut butter on a plate and shaped it like a little bone and bought her a hat, and she hated it. But I got a cute picture out of it.
That's still a memory to live on.
It is. It is.
That's what I kind of neglect is I don't take a lot of pictures with my dog.
You have to take pictures.
Yeah, there's one of my coworkers is always like, "Your dog is so beautiful.
She
So
is
you
so
can,
cute."
I'm just like, I know. I'm sorry. I need to be more that person.
Some people aren't though. So I mean, I'm a photographer too, and like I'm always taking pictures. But to me, that's normal. So when people like you were like, "Oh yeah, I don't take a lot," right away, I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah, not.
But there's a lot of people that are like me, like, "Why do you always have your phone out for pictures?"
I don't know. I think I take too much pictures of myself. I just take pictures of the dog.
You a selfie?
I do have
king.
a lot of selfies. It's so weird. At first, it's not that weird. I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking through my phone. I'm just like, holy fuck, what am I doing?
Yeah, I don't realize it till I'm trying to show something to somebody and I'm scrolling and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, stop looking at me.
Yeah, I don't even show people. I'm just like, oh, guys, give me a second.
Yep.
Here you go.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. It actually happened the other day with one of my friend's phones. He was like, hey, I'm going to show you something, but you can't look at my phone. I was all, why? He's like, well, I either have too many selfies or I have nudes, and I don't want you to see
I just don't want you to see them.
I was like, bro, you got to put those in a different folder. But like the selfie thing, I totally understand because I'm the same way.
I feel like, do you have a code or a block on your phone to get in?
No, I just have like the Face ID thing.
Oh, the Face ID.
Yeah. I think I had to set up a passcode when I first got my phone, but I don't use it. I have no idea what it is.
You're just like, I don't want anybody to see what's going on in my phone.
I don't have that many like bad things though.
But you have a face recognition, so nobody can get in it anyways.
I know, but yeah, it's kind of weird. Like you'd think that for that reason I
Yeah.
have things, but I really don't.
I-
Like, I don't know. I'm not a nudie person since I brought it up because I'm a burlesque dancer. I'm like, if you guys want to see me nude, you practically do on YouTube.
Just go to a show, guys.
Literally, YouTube sweet pasties.
There you go. You hear that promotion?
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have, and then like it's not like I don't talk to 18 different people at once. If I were to be dating somebody, I'm not trying to hide my phone.
There you
I'm like,
go.
oh yeah, I text my mom. It's the most
Yeah.
exciting thing on my phone.
You're like, why is your phone going off? It's my mom, dude.
My mom, literally, or my brother asking me to bring him Taco Bell at 11 o'clock at night.
Nice.
So
You have a brother?
I do. I have two brothers.
Where are you then? How old are you?
I am the oldest.
You're the oldest? That's
I am.
cool.
Yeah, so it's me and then my middle brother. He's about to turn 21. Woohoo! And then my youngest brother is actually 12. There's 12 years, almost 13 years between me and him.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely different. Like, I almost feel like a second mom to him rather than a sibling.
That makes sense because the gap.
Yeah. I mean, because when he was born, I was in middle school. I was able to babysit him when my mom wanted to go out, and I was
Yeah.
changing diapers and stuff.
You're
and
like, I already know this.
yeah, I mean, literally, it was more like being a mom. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. The relationship I have with my middle brother is way different from the one I have with my younger brother. But I'm like equally close to them. If
Interesting.
that makes sense.
That's
it's just
cool.
different. Yeah. What about you? Do you have siblings?
I do, actually. I have 3 brothers. I'm the
Oh.
oldest. I'm the
Hey.
oldest. But
Oldest kids.
sadly, one of my brothers passed away.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, it's so weird to like still kind of like want like say it, you know?
Yeah.
It's always something weird. But when I was 13, my brother actually committed suicide.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
And at that age, it's like a weird experience because I
Yeah.
still don't really understand the whole aspect of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I get older, I'm just like, wow, like recently my grandma died, and like everybody at the funeral is like super sad and super dramatic, and I'm just like, the most tragic thing already happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Like she got to live her life, and it was so awesome. I'm sorry if I'm making this
No.
all sad or anything, but it's crazy to think about that. As life goes on, I just really wish that I knew how to really cope or deal with it more.
Approach. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I got into music. That's why I got into like entertainment and stuff, because I
Yeah.
feel like if I can make anybody happy or anybody smile or anything, I'm doing pretty good.
Well, you're making me smile.
See, so I love that aspect of being an entertainer and stuff.
Yeah,
It's just because
absolutely.
to bring that love and joy of anything out of somebody.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not that conversation. I mean, death is sad, but I think it's a good conversation to have because people don't have it, but it's inevitable.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy.
morbid, but I mean, it is what it is. And 2 years ago, my best friend and his wife lost their 10-year-old to cancer, and that was really hard. Like, I was there with them through that whole process, and that affected me a lot. And kind of, again, like, to me, the most tragic thing has already happened. Like, I literally watched a child go through that, and it was awful. So I remember about 3 months after he passed, everybody in our office that worked with him decided to do a fitness challenge, and we were going to do it, to be strong for Elijah. That's what we called it. And I am not the fittest person. I'm in shape. I can dance and I can do all those things. But when it comes to just like sit-ups or crunches or push-ups, I don't have that strength. I don't have that determination to do it. And so one of the challenges was to do 100 push-ups, and I struggled. Like, it took me about 15 minutes to just get through it. But I literally told them, I was like, I'm not going to stop because I'm doing this for him. Like, he's not here to be able to do it anymore. And in my head, that was literally I was thinking about him. You know what I mean?
Something going on that is like an emotional state that
exactly
makes you feel.
Or even like, my mom, she's super into dyeing her hair because she doesn't want to go gray. And like going through that traumatic experience for me, I was like, growing old's such a privilege. I don't think people think about it that way. It's like, oh, I'm getting old, and it's like this negative thing. I'm like, but not everybody gets to.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, I'm going to go gray. And when I go gray, I'm just going to let it happen because, I'm privileged to have that experience.
I kind of embrace it too. I'm just like, yeah, I'm getting old, but I still look amazing. Like, what's wrong with you guys? Like, what are you doing that I'm not doing? Cause
drugs.
I get so confused. I shock so many people because they're just like, holy fuck, you just turned 30. I just turned 30.
You just turned 30?
I'm 30 years old. I am
dirty 30. Woohoo!
So yeah, like, doing that is so crazy to people because they're just like, oh, dude, you're awesome. Like, oh, yeah, you're probably my age. Or just like, hey, what's up, man? I just turned 30. Yeah, my birthday just passed. It was Cinco de Mayo.
Hey, happy late birthday.
So it was pretty fun.
So did you party it up?
I actually had
by yourself?
Yeah, I had to work, but I did have a few drinks.
Hey, there you go.
And it was fun. But then, again, the aspect is like, I'm 30, but yet I look like this.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. That's so, joke about it all the time. It's like, you're just jealous because I look like Keanu Reeves. Like, I have the Keanu Reeves gene. Like, I can last longer than you. So it's
you found a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, no one ever. It's just perfect.
Wow, I would not have pinned you at 30.
I'm so glad that. But see, nobody. I still honestly feel like a lot of people in the community out there in the world don't really know. They're just like, oh, look at him. He looks like he's like a 21-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, but now I'm just like, I'm a man trying to make it in the world. That's what I'm trying.
I'm a big boy.
But yeah, I've always had this ambition to be famous since I was little. I've been always like trying to do cool things and
You'll
stuff.
Be famous.
I play guitar. I do magic.
You'll be famous. And I'm going to post this podcast on my Facebook and be like, hey, I sat 4 feet from him.
And you know what's crazy too? Is like, my friend tells me all the time, like, dude, you're already famous. You're super famous. Like, everybody knows you. Like, everybody knows you. And I'm just like, oh, man, you're so nice. I love you so much. You make me feel great. But I guess it's just that big head ego thing where I'm just like...
It's thinking... I don't know. I've always... So, kind of the same thing. Like, I get recognized for being Miss Daisy Darlin now. And it's the weirdest thing. Because to me, I'm like, that is fame. Like, fame literally is being recognized, right? It's like people noticing who you are and stuff. So, I'm like, yeah, for Albuquerque, I'm famous. But I almost think, like, regionally, I'm like, I want to be known in the Southwest. I want to be known across the country. You know what I mean? Like, you say Kim Kardashian anywhere, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, I know her.
I totally know that, yeah.
So it's like, I want to be that way. You know what I mean? So I totally get you. But
I love that. At least I'm not the only one.
No, you're not.
Because I always tell people that, too. It's just like, oh, what do you really want to do with your life? I'm just like, to be honest, dude, I just want to be famous. Like, I do all these different skills because I don't know what will get me famous, but I tried just different things.
Do something.
Just to get out there, you know, like, just to try
maybe
to get
we'll
out
be
there.
famous together if we can finally work
some
on our music together.
And do some shows. Like, literally, the idea of the show was amazing. Like, we were going to have it monthly. It was going to happen all the time.
I know.
And that's the beauty of these kind of things, is that it just has to happen repeatedly to build the audience, to build the people to know, like, oh, I didn't get to see last week, but
I can be here
next month, or I can be here in the next show. And that's what's cool to think about, is that it builds upon itself.
Well, that's what I noticed. So I've put on 3 shows now with Sweet Pasties Productions. And like the first one, we had maybe 30 people in the audience by the end of the show. And then come our second show, we had about 30 in the audience at the beginning of the show, maybe like 60 by the end. And then the last one, I mean, we were packed just the whole night. You know what I mean? So it was kind of crazy because, yeah, all those people that first saw our show started talking. We're like, well, we're going to be at the next one and we're going to bring more people. We're going to be at the next one. We're going to bring more people. And it does, just builds. I don't know. Have you heard about the Saints Ball? It's like a drag queen show here.
I haven't.
I don't know if they do more than drag queen because I've actually never been to one of their shows. But I know they perform at Sidewinders, which I do a lot of shows there too. And then the Blackout crew. But they're the same way. I remember I was leaving our show once and they were getting ready to go on. They had 100 people.
Oh, geez.
In the tiny little cabaret. And I just was like, oh my gosh, but that's what they've done. They've had so many shows that all these people are followers and they bring more people to their shows. And then they have it so regularly that people expect it and they know when the next one will be. So,
and I felt that ambition and that idea with this. I was like, this is going to be sick. This is going to be cool. It's going to grow and it's going to go.
It's still going to be there, but we're postponed. So my next show isn't until July 31st.
Thank you, Ron. He's like the next Larry King.
The next...
Don't give me that. Is it because I look like I'm decrepit and skinny?
I was saying, he just said he was 30. That's not a good
I
compliment.
know, right? Jesus. You'll do well, bro. Oh. I appreciate that, though. I really love that. Thank you.
You will be. I totally lost my train of thought.
Next show. We're showing
Next
shows.
show is July 31st. And then hopefully starting in August, we'll have monthly shows again.
The reopening of whatever happens.
Fingers
Did you see
crossed.
that post that actually New Mexico is one of the only states that actually did all the criteria correctly to reopen on time?
No, I did not.
Yeah, like low numbers in deaths, low numbers in reoccurring like ailments, like, oh, this person got it again and stuff. Like, it was a pretty low number. I was
Wow.
pretty surprised.
I did see there was like a map kind of color-coded based on states that took necessary precautions. And we were like, one of maybe 5 states that was in the green for like doing what we needed to be doing.
I don't know. Contraband says, does she realize you're Howard Stern of PS4 podcasts? Am I really? Because, like, I haven't even taken off my shirt yet, so...
I mean, we're all waiting.
I mean, I'm trying to get an endorsement deal. Come on, Huggies.
Huggies. I have some Huggies. I'll bring them over.
Oh, yeah, I'll just put them right there.
Perfect.
Just be like, hey, guys,
buy these.
do something.
No, depends. You're an adult now, so...
I like it.
Not Huggies, but depends.
Oh, that's what those
You can
are
be dependable.
See, I didn't know. My we only get from Medline, so I don't know. That's what my company gets the diapers from.
Yeah. You didn't even laugh at my corny joke, though.
Of?
I said you could be dependable.
No.
For depends.
For Depends?
Yeah.
Those are the underwear brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like a Pez dispenser.
Oh my gosh.
You could be dependable.
Dependable.
Like a Pez.
Dependable. I don't know. You still haven't told me your corny joke that I asked for earlier.
If I were... okay. You know what's crazy is that there was a kid that always told his mom that he wanted to hit the dogs. Like, I want to hit the dog. But the mom was like, no, because the dog will bite you. And then the kid's like, but I want to hit the dog. But the mom was pretty smart and was just like, no, don't do it. The dog's going to bite you. Sometimes the kid bugs so much that you just go along with it. You're just like, just hit the dog. Go hit the dog and find out what happens. No, because he's going to bite me. It's so corny. That was the first joke that I ever learned, and it's actually in Spanish. You're supposed to say it in Spanish.
Oh.
But yeah, when I was a little kid, my dad and his friends would say that joke and other obvious, very dirty jokes. But that was the only one that I really remembered the most.
That's funny.
It's just like, don't kick the dog, don't kick the dog. Okay, go kick the dog.
They're like, well, no.
No, it's going to bite me, Mom. I thought you knew. So it's just a smart-ass kid in this story. Probably
Yeah.
me. Who knows? My dad is probably telling a story of me like, yeah, this little
kid
wanted to kick the dog. I don't know why. And then I come up and do like, Dad, can I kick the dog? See what I mean? He wants to kick the dog.
I asked for corny jokes because my middle brother just got a job in the produce department at Walmart the other day, and
Which one?
the neighborhood market up in Rio Rancho.
Dope. Because I have a bunch of friends that work at different ones. So I'll just
Oh, there
be
you
like,
go. Yeah, he lives in Rio Rancho.
Dope.
So when he came home and told us, my dad and I sat on the couch for like an hour and made really horrible produce puns. And I was like, hey, maybe they'll pair you up with someone good. And my dad, oh man, I can't even like think of all of them anymore. He was all, let us know if you need any. It was pretty great. My family is really good at puns, so
It's nice.
it's like 90% of our conversations. But going back to like what you said with the kid too, it just made me laugh because I'm kind of at that point with my son now too.
He wants to kick a dog.
He wants to like do stuff. Like the other day we were walking by the Bosque and he really wanted to go touch the water. And I was like, you're going to fall in and drown. I was like, no. And he just kept bothering me. And a part of me was like, you know what? Fine, do it. Drown. I don't care.
You're going to find out how bad it is.
Yeah, I'm not going to save you. That water's disgusting.
And that's the beautiful
But
thing
it's like-
too. Is like, so, this is the going back to the COVID immunity thing. Is like maybe they just should get dirty. Maybe they should just go out and let things happen.
Yeah, well, so I read an interesting article actually a few years ago. So this was before even all the whole Corona thing happened. And it said that we've become, as a society, so obsessed with being clean that we haven't realized that there is good bacteria in being dirty.
Yeah.
And like the more you use hand sanitizer, you're killing good bacteria and stuff like that. And so I don't know. I'm definitely one of those people. I believe in getting your hands dirty for a lot of reasons.
That
you
makes
know,
sense, yeah.
And like my son too. I mean, people ask me if I put him in a mask. I'm like, no. If anything, I want him breathing it because then eventually maybe he will have an immunity to it. You know what I mean, or
Yeah.
something like that.
See, but
And-
that's crazy to think about too, because now people are thinking like, oh, she's that kind of parent.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't care. I'm like, you parent your kids how you want.
yeah,
and-
that's good. That's a good mentality to have because,
Yeah.
like, literally, we live in a country where we should be able to like parent our kids how we want
how
to.
you want. That's exactly what I tell people. I'm like, nobody knows how to parent your kids other than you. You know what I mean? So like for me, that's what I choose to do. I want my kid to get dirty. I want him to roll around in the mud and bring it in the house. I want him to not wear a mask during this. But I respect the people that do the opposite, you know?
EU Muckers says, I agree. I only ever wash my hands after a shit.
That's probably a good time to do it.
At least you're doing it after something. I mean, I could imagine if you're
Or like
just,
washing your hand like before you take a shit.
or during. I agree. Only ever.
Did you say
after.
during?
He says after. Yeah,
During?
that makes more sense. The sink
Oh.
is right there. I think I could reach over while I'm flopping one.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know if you've seen, but it's like awkward bathroom selfies. And it's where like the toilets are placed in front of the mirrors.
Oh,
So
God.
people take like weird pictures.
Yeah.
And I've always laughed at those until I moved into my new condo. And my mirror is literally right in front of the toilet.
Oh,
and so like
geez.
every time I sit, I'm just like
Selfie.
I don't want to look at myself while I'm going to the bathroom. That's
I wonder though if
weird.
it's as weird. Okay, here's a weird one. Have you ever heard of eBay dicks?
No.
Okay, so what people do is that they will sell shiny items like a TV, a nice golden pot, but they take the picture at an angle that they're naked, so that the only way you can see them is if you really like look at the pot and you see the reflection.
Oh my.
It's a thing. They're out there, and you go and find. They're called eBay dicks.
I have found my new obsession.
It's weird. You can even you can YouTube it, and they'll show you a couple of them because
my
it's funny.
gosh.
It's hilarious how they try to get away with it.
That's funny.
But I was just like, that's kind of genius. Like, you know, they're trying. Their content doesn't get blocked or anything,
Yeah,
and they sell
it's
like a teapot for like $5.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
So I couldn't stop laughing. I'm
Have you
glad.
seen the Facebook video challenge that guys are doing where they flip like a quarter and it swings back and forth and then they try to like swing their junk so that it like lines up?
I've seen something like that, but I don't think the quarter one.
Or yeah, like they hang something or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm like, if I had a dick,
You
that's-
totally do that.
I would spend probably every day
I had an ex.
doing something like that.
I had an ex-girlfriend that was just like, you should helicopter dick more. I'm just like, okay.
Sure.
I mean, as long as you said it's okay, I'm down. I'll totally do it.
So being a burlesque dancer, we have like the tassels and, you know, we do the titty twirling and stuff.
Yeah.
I've always said that like a male burlesque should have like a dick tassel.
I think
and
that's-
just like
do it.
let it go. That would be cool.
Show idea. I'm totally bringing that on. Because I don't know if you remember
Same.
when I did the show, I was just
You
like,
stripped, didn't
yeah,
you?
I was just like, I'm gonna take off my shirt and wear my tights. Why not? And I did it, and I
was
was just
beautiful.
like, oh yes, I'm so badly. Fuck yeah.
See, I feel like I could sell those little like penis tassel things on Wish. You know, because Wish
They're
already
probably
sells
yeah,
like.
I'm pretty sure they're on.
They
there.
probably are.
They're like, hey, you want to buy a bowl? We have you sell 20.
Well, it's funny because like I get like penis related stuff in my Wish ads. I'm like, why would I need like a penis tint?
I think that's a universal thing, though.
But it's just odd. You know what I mean? Like the only time I got something that was like feminine related was they tried to sell me one of those She-Go cup things for women to pee outside.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah, no.
I can't use this. This doesn't even work right.
And they just squat.
Half of the time, half of their products are just like, this is awesome, but it's not that great.
Try this. You will be disappointed, but you can say you tried it.
Yeah, because I love when I see something too. It's just like amazing new smartwatch, $5.99 or $5. I'm just like,
yeah.
how is this even possible? And then like,
Or have you seen the houses they try to sell for like $10?
I'm just like, what is going on? I'm getting a model or something.
I literally would show up to somebody's house and be like, I bought this house for $10. I need you to move out.
You need you to leave. Here's my Wish receipt.
Oh my god.
I'm actually that's not a bad idea. I've always actually wanted to buy some bullshit from Wish and just do like an unboxing on YouTube. Be like, hey guys, I bought
be so much fun.
$100 worth of dumb stuff on Wish. Let's go through it and tell me what you think.
Can we do that?
Sure, why not?
Our next podcast
I'm
together?
down. Yeah.
Just unbox random stuff from Wish.
I'm down.
Okay.
I'll buy some, you buy some,
Yep.
and then we'll just
Pencil it in.
I'll do it.
All you following. That'll be the next one.
EU muckers. Society has become obsessed with cleanliness. The immune system is like most body system. It needs a battering once in a while to keep itself top notch.
Absolutely.
Steven says them shorts. Wow.
Them shorts.
I
I was
know.
like, whose shorts?
You're talking about. You better be talking about her.
Better be my shorts.
And then E up muckers is just constant minimal germ contact from birth is the cause of weak immune systems.
I agree. I watched this podcast or listened to on Spotify called Sawbones. Have you heard about that?
It sounds like a murder mystery thing.
You know, it does, but it's literally, so she's it's a husband and a wife, but she's a doctor, and so like she answers all these questions and talks about different things. And then like her husband's just funny, so he just kind of is on there making jokes, whatever. But then they have conversations about medical stuff. But they actually had a podcast about the immune system and just that, like we've become so like, oh my god, my infant needs to remain the cleanliest, whatever. So then when they get put into daycare, they end up with like hand, foot, mouth disease in the first 2 hours. It's like that's why we get sick so often. But like even teachers, you know, they tell us the start of every school year you'll get sick because you're being introduced to a whole new group of students. Especially me being 6th grade, I get all those students from a different elementary school.
Yeah, and that's probably different.
It's all different. And so, you know, I always get sick at the beginning of the year, but I'll get sick like in August or September, and then I'm not sick again until the following year. I mean, like I have developed almost like an immunity because I've just been exposed to all of those things. And kids are gross, dude. Like,
Yeah.
especially like I taught in an elementary school, and like they swipe their hands and they come and like shake your hand or
Right.
they hug you, and it's like, well,
What are you doing?
I guess what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
But that's so true because same thing too. I was listening to a podcast where this farmer was just like, you know, sometimes it's just okay to just like, you know, shovel manure and just like be there close to it because I feel I don't know, I'm not a scientist, don't quote me on this, but I feel people that have a mask on right now, and then if the second wave does hit us, the people that didn't really take so much of a precaution and still kind of like I want to say boosted their immune system because literally you just kind of have to take care of yourself, like eat properly, get all your vitamins in, like just make sure that you can have a healthy immune
You're
system.
taken care of.
And that's the whole purpose of this whole thing that I'm getting across is just like just make sure that you're ready for it because if you just like, oh, well, I'm going to put a mask on and gloves, but I'm still going to eat shit. I'm still going to like live my shitty lifestyle. Like, is that really...
Are you doing anything to benefit yourself?
In this aspect, yeah. Especially in this aspect, because who knows, as we know, the flu strain has many different versions of itself, and some are worse than others, some are get immune by others, but then what's not to say the same thing happens with the COVID, where it's just like, oh, well, it ends up just being this year 12,000 people died. Oh, well, last year, at least it's better than last year.
It's better, yeah. Well, that's something I read too, is that they predict that there's going to be different strains of the COVID, which that's exactly how it is with the flu. And like with the flu vaccine, they tell you there's only about 5 strands in here, but there's 1,000 flu strands.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm all for vaccines. I mean, I work in a school, so I have to be vaccinated and stuff. But so yeah, I mean, it's like the only thing you can really truly do, I think, to keep yourself safe and sane is be healthy.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Do the exercises that fit you and your lifestyle, and eat, appropriately. And yeah, I mean, just take care of yourself.
You hear that, folks? Daisy, we've been here for an hour and 14 minutes. Yeah, I know, that was fun.
It's been an hour and 14 minutes?
Yeah, it has been. It really has been. Do you have any shout outs or anything where they can find you? Tell them where they can find you at, social media wise, everywhere.
Yeah, so Facebook, you can look us up, Sweet Pasties Productions. You can look me up specifically as Miss MS Daisy Darlin.
That's who that's who I put as the person coming in the podcast
me.
today.
And then on Instagram, we are at ABQ, Sweet Pasties ABQ. And those are our main platforms.
And the shows that you think might be coming up here soon?
Our next one will be July 31st. You heard it here.
Just a heads up, guys. Keep an eye out for that. Make sure to follow and subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.
We are back again. We'll probably be back tomorrow. Have another guest in. We'll probably have Swerve and Irvin. He's been a recurring guest every week, so he's a pretty funny guy. So we'll have Swerve and Irvin on. But thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
I don't have my music cued because I'm so bad. But again, thanks.
I'll go. I
like having you here. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. You guys remember, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Social media, MuseMe TV, everybody.